Now the next problem is a well insulated rigid container of volume 1 meter cube contains 1 kilogram of an ideal gas. The value of Cp is given as 1000 joule per kilogram Kelvin and Cv as 800 joule per kilogram Kelvin. Okay. So basically with the help of this Cp and Cv, it seems that it is an air. Always remember the Cp for air is 1.005 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin. Sometimes this value of Cp is not given in the question, so you must remember the Cp for air as 1.005 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin. And this ideal gas is maintained at a pressure of 10 raised to the power 5 Pascal, that is 1 atmospheric pressure. And this stirrer is rotated at a constant RPM in a container for 100 rotations. So please make it correct, it is 1000 rotations, and an applied torque is 100 Newton meter. Then find the final pressure of the gas in Kelvin. So this question was asked in 2015 GATE. So see how to solve this question. Question number 10. Basically this is a well insulated chamber. And it is being stirred, and ideal gas, that air, is present over there, and this is rotated. What is the torque of rotation? This is given as 100 Newton meter, and the rotation is 1000. So how much amount of the work is been done? Work done due to this rotation is equal to T omega T into theta. So this comes to be 100 into 2 pi, and n, the value of n rotation is 1000. So this much amount of joule, this is the total work done which is to be carried by the stirring process. Okay, and it is a well insulated rigid container. So what is the heat transfer? The heat transfer will be equal to 0. So net heat transfer is 0 due to insulation. So this amount of the work which is being used for the stirring process, that will be consumed by change in internal energy. So work done is nothing but it is change in internal energy. Change in internal energy. So what is this delta U? Delta U is nothing but it is mCV, final temperature minus initial temperature, is equal to your work done. So final temperature will be given as initial temperature plus work done divided by mCV. Now the question is how to calculate this initial temperature. So it is given that the volume of the container is 1 meter cube, contains 1 kg of air at a pressure of 10 raised to the power 5. So using the ideal gas equation, PV is equal to mRT. So temperature will be equal to PV upon mR. Now putting the value of this temperature in the given question, so what is the value of T2? So T2, that is the final temperature, comes to be initial temperature. So this is P1 V1 upon mR plus W upon mCV. Now all the values are known to us. What is the value of R? R is nothing but it is by mere relation Cp minus Cv. So we will get the value of R. Mass is given, initial pressure, initial volume is given, work done we have already calculated due to the stirring process. Cv is given. Once you put all these values, you will get the final temperature that comes to be 1285.39. Once you calculate this, so this becomes around 500 Kelvin. Once you put over here, so you will get the final temperature, and the value of this final temperature is nothing but it is 1285. 1285.4 Kelvin. You just do the calculation part and put all the values as you will get this answer. The basic thing is that you have to know how to find out the work during the stirring process, and this work is basically nothing but to change in internal energy, because this is your internal work and this internal work will be used for the changing in its internal energy. And because the work is being done, that's why the internal energy will increase, so the final temperature will be obviously greater than that as compared to its initial temperature. Okay, now come to the next problem. The next problem is that a stationary system consisting of 2 kg of fluid of problem 4.8. so just don't get confused. The problem 4.8, basically this problem 4.8 says that it is a air, so you just remember that the fluid which we are using is air. So don't get confused with problem 4.8. it is only just for fluid and the fluid is air. So now I am just again reading it. A stationary system consisting of 2 kg of air in an adiabatic process according to PV raised to the power 1.2 is equal to constant. So mass of air is given, initial mass, and the law is given as PV raised to the power 1.2 is equal to constant. 11th problem. The mass of air, mass of fluid, and that fluid is nothing but it is your air, and its value of 2 kg. And process is given PV की power 1.2 equal to constant. PV raised to the power 1.2 equal to constant. The initial conditions are 1 megapascal and 200 degree centigrade. So initial condition P1 is 1 megapascal and temperature is 200 degree centigrade. What is the meaning of 200 degree centigrade? So this is around 473 Kelvin. So this is the initial condition. And the final pressure is 0.1 megapascal. So final pressure is 0.1 megapascal. Find what is the work done, what is change in internal energy for this process, why is the work transfer not equal to PdV. This is again an important thing, why this work is not equal to PdV. Okay, so it is PV की power 1.2 is equal to constant, so we can use the relation between pressure and temperature for polytropic process. So what is the relation? That is T2 upon T1 is equal to P2 upon P1 की power कम n minus 1 upon n. So with the help of this we can easily find out what is the final temperature. So final temperature comes to be P2 upon P1 की power n. What is the value of n? It is 1.2, so that comes to be 0.2 upon 1.2. So by this we can find out the value of final temperature. So you just put the values and get the final temperature. So this we can easily find out. So final temperature is now known to us. The initial temperature is given as 473, and adiabatic process is there. So since it's an adiabatic process, the heat transfer will be equal to 0. Since the process is adiabatic, so heat transfer is equal to 0. So from first law, Q is equal to W plus delta U. W becomes minus of delta U. And what is delta U? Delta U is nothing but it is minus mCv delta T. Since ideal gas is an air, for an air we are taking that Cv is equal to 800 joule per kilogram Kelvin. So what is the amount of work done? Minus, what is mass? Mass is given as 2 kilogram. 2 into Cv is 800, and what is delta T? That is T2 minus T1. The value of T2 we have already calculated. Put the value of T2 and T1, so you will get the amount of work done. So this much amount of the work has been done. Okay. Now in the question we find what is the work done and what is change in internal energy. So whatever be the work done and what is the change in internal energy, both are equal but opposite in nature. So if your work done is this thing, then change in internal energy, this comes out to be 2 into 800 into T2 minus T1. So with the help of this we can find out this much amount of the internal energy has been changed and this much amount of the work is being done. Now the next part of this question is, why is the work transfer not equal to PdV work? What is PdV work? Work done, W is equal to integration PdV, and this integration PdV is only for quasi-static process. Only for quasi-static process. So since this work done is not equal to this one, so just because the given process is not being assumed as in a quasi-static process, that's why the work done is not equal to PdV. Because once you calculate this PdV work, obviously this PdV work will be this PdV work W is equal to integration PdV, and once you put the value, so this comes to be P1 V1 minus P2 V2 divided by n minus 1. P1 and V1 is known to us, initial temperature is known to us. So with the help of initial temperature and pressure we can use the formula P1 V1 is equal to mR T1. So V1 can be equal to mR T1 upon P1, or P1 V1 can directly be used as, or P1 V1 can directly be written as mR T1. Similarly P2 V2 is equal to mR T2. Now put the values and get the answer. So this PdV work is not equal to that one just because it is not your quasi-static process. Now the next question is, a mass of 8 kg gas expand within a flexible container so that a PV relationship is of the form PV raised to the power 1.2 is equal to constant. Okay, initial mass is given and the relation is given as PV raised to the power 1.2 equal to constant. So let me write this thing. Mass is given as 12 kilogram. I think it is 12 kilogram, 8 kilogram. Please write it, 8 kilogram. So mass is 8 kilogram and process is PV की power 1.2 is equal to constant. The initial pressure is 1000 kilopascal and volume is 1 meter cube. Initial condition is given. Initial condition. Pressure is 1000 kilopascal and volume is 1000 kilopascal and volume is 1 meter cube. The final pressure is 5 kilopascal. Final condition. Five kilopascal. Final volume we don't know. Sorry. If the specific internal energy of the gas is decreases by 40 kilojoule per kilogram, find the heat transfer in magnitude and direction. 40 kilojoule per kilogram. Specific internal energy decreases by 40 kilojoule per kilogram. So change in internal energy delta U comes to be minus 40 into 8, it is 320 kilojoule, the minus sign. This minus sign basically represents that this much amount of the internal energy decreases. The law is given as PV raised to the power 1.2. So by using the law we can easily find out the value of the volume. So P1 V1 raised to the power 1.2 comes to be P2 V2 raised to the power 1.2. So V2 is nothing but it is V1 into P1 upon P2 power 1 upon 1.2. So this comes to be 1 meter cube. P1 is 1000 kilopascal, P2 is 5 raised to the power 1 upon 1.2. So with the help of this we can easily find out how much amount of the final volume of the gas. So the final volume is known to us. Then work transfer. So work transfer W comes to be P1 V1 minus P2 V2 divided by N minus 1. So initial pressure and volume is known, final pressure is known, volume we have already calculated, N is 1.2 given to us minus 1. So with the help of this we can easily find out how much amount of the work has been transferred. So here we can put the values as like P1, what is the pressure, 1000 kilopascal. So this is 1000 kilopascal 10 raised to the power v. V1 is 1 minus P2 is 5 kilopascal into V2, let it be V2 upon 1.2 minus 1, and the value of V2 is known, we have already calculated. So from here you will get the value of how much amount of the work has been done. Then from first law of thermodynamics, from first law of thermodynamics heat transfer Q is equal to W plus delta U. Work transfer we have calculated, and delta U is nothing but it is equal to minus 320 kilojoule. So put the value of W, so you will get how much amount of the heat transfer is being done. So this much amount of the heat has been transferred. Put the values as and get the answer. And in question he is asking how much amount of the heat transfer in magnitude. The magnitude is known, and the direction. So direction means if it is. Now the next problem is the gas undergoes a thermodynamic cycle consisting of the following processes. Process 1 to 2, it's a constant pressure process. Process 2 to 3, it's a compression with PV equal to constant, means an isothermal process. U3 is equal to U2. First we will make just the diagram of all this. Question number 13, it's a good question. I am just writing here process 1 to 2. What is process 1 to 2? Constant pressure, P equal to 1.4 bar and volume is 0.028 meter cube. Work done is 10.5. Pressure is 1.4 bar. Volume is 0.028 meter cube, and work transfer is 10.5 kilojoule, and this process is pressure constant process. This is process 1 to 2, constant pressure process. Process 2 to 3 is isothermal process. 2 to 3, temperature constant, that is PV equal to constant. This is given to us different values. First write down, in which U3 is equal to U2. In process 3, U3 is equal to U2 given. Now process 3 to 1 is constant volume process. 3 to 1 constant volume process. In the process 3 to 1, U1 minus U3 is minus 26.4. U1 minus U3 is equal to minus 26.4 minus 26.4 kilojoule. There are no significant change in kinetic and potential energy. Sketch the cycle on a PV diagram. Calculate the net work transfer in the cycle. Calculate the net heat transfer process 1 to 2, and show that for cycle summation W is equal to summation Q. Okay. So first we will just draw the diagram on a PV diagram. This is pressure, this is volume. Pressure 1 to 2, it's a constant pressure process. Constant pressure process. 2 to 3 is compression. Two to 3 is compression, and 3 to 1 isoporic. This is pressure is equal to constant. Temperature is equal to constant. This is an isothermal process. This is isobaric process, and this is your isoporic process. So this is your own PV diagram. Okay. And since this is an isothermal process, then U3 is equal to U2, which is given to us. and in process 1 to 2 the work done is 10.5 kilojoule, which is positive. It means expansion is there, so there is an expansion 1 to 2. This shows expansion. Okay, V1 is equal to V3. Now 1 to 2. So work done for process 1 to 2. What is work done from 1 to 2? Work done from 1 to 2 is nothing but it is equal to pressure into V2 minus V1. What is pressure and what is the work done? Work done is 10.5 kilojoule. This is 10.5. Pressure is 1.4 into 10 raised to the power 5. V2 minus V1 is 0.028. So V2 comes to be 10.5 upon 1.4 into 10 raised to the power 5 plus 0.028. This much is the value of volume at this. Okay. Now we have to calculate the value of temperature at point 3 or pressure at point 3. Once we are able to calculate the pressure, then the total change of this one means the area of this diagram will give you the net work transfer. Now one process 2 to 3, for 2 to 3, V3 is equal to V1 isochloric, and process 2 to 3 is an isothermal. So work done from 2 to 3, what is its value? This is nothing but it is P2 V2 ln V3 upon V2. Now this is P2 V2 ln V3 is nothing but it is V1, so this is V1 upon V2. So work done from 2 to 3 is equal to P2 V2 ln V1 upon V2. Now put the value of P2. What is the value of P2? P2 is equal to P1, which is constant, so it is 1.4 bar. P1 is 1.4 into 10 raised to the power 5 into what is the value of V2? If we see, then the V2 we can calculate from this one. This is 10.5 upon 1.4, 10.5 upon 1.4 into 10 raised to the power 5 plus 0.028 ln. What is the value of V1? V1 is the initial volume, that is 0.028 divided by 10.5 upon 1.4 into 10 raised to the power 5 plus 0.028. Since this value will be less than to 1, so net work done will be negative of anything. But this much of kilojoule work is being done from process 2 to 3, and process 1 to 3 to 1 work done is equal to 0 due to isochoric process. Therefore net work done during the cycle will be given by W net, and this is nothing but it is W1 to 2 plus W2 to 3 plus W3 to 1. This is 10.5 plus this is W23, which we have already calculated here, and this is 0. This number will definitely comes to be a negative number. Why it is negative number? Because once you see the cycle, it is a counterclockwise direction cycle. So since it is a counterclockwise direction, then it is a work consuming device. So due to the work consuming device, the net work is done on the gas. So it will be a negative number. So once you calculate this value and put over here, so you will get the negative, and the reason I have told you. And since according to Joule's law, for any cycle, summation Q is equal to summation W. So total heat transfer is equal to W net. Okay, now in the question he was asking calculate the net work transfer cycle in kilojoule and calculate the heat transfer for process 1 to 2. So we have to calculate heat transfer for 1 to 2. So we have to calculate heat transfer for 1 to 2. It is given that U1 minus U3, delta U for all these processes will be equal to 0, and U2 and U3 is given. So first we will calculate total delta U, total change in internal energy delta U is equal to U1 to 2 plus U2 to 3 plus U3 to 1. This can be written as U2 minus U1 plus U2 minus U3, both are equal. This is U3 minus U2 plus U1 minus U3. Once we add, so all will be equal to 0. So U2 minus U1, and this must be 0, plus U3 minus U2, this value is equal to 0 given, and U1 minus U3, this value has already been given, that is U1 minus U3, this value is minus 26.4. So this value is nothing but minus 26.4. So because of this, U2 minus U1, that is the change in internal energy in the process 1 to 2, is nothing but it is 26.4 kilojoule. Therefore net heat transfer in process 1 to 2 will be given by Q12, this is nothing but W12 plus U2 minus U1. W12 is given, that is 10.5 kilojoule, plus U2 minus U1. What is the value of U2 minus U1? 26.4 plus 26.4, so this becomes 36.9 kilojoule. How much of the energy has been transferred from 1 to 2? So this becomes 36.9 kilojoule. That is 36.9 kilojoule. Total work done you have already calculated. Now I have to show that whether summation Q is equal to summation W. So for summation Q, what we have to do, for process 2 to 3, process number 2 to 3, delta U is equal to 0. So Q23 is equal to W23. That we have already calculated. You just check over there. And for 321, Q31 is nothing but it is W31 plus U1 minus U3, because change in internal is final minus initial. Work done here is 0, and U1 minus U3, this value is given, U1 minus U3 is minus 26.4. So this is nothing but it is minus 26.4. So Q31 is nothing but it is minus 26.4 kilojoule. So this is the heat transfer through 3 to 1, yani this much of amount of heat is being liberated, and this in Q212, that means this much amount of heat is consumed, and in this process work done you will calculate U, so you will get Q23. So total net heat transfer will be equal to this plus this plus this. We can also write, so summation Q is nothing but it is Q12 plus Q23 plus Q31. You have already calculated all these three values, so just put over here, so you will get the value of summation Q. And you have already calculated summation W. Once you check, then you will find that summation Q will be equal to summation W. Hence the Joule's law will be satisfied. Hence it is proved. So just only you have to do two calculations, and you just put the values and get the answer over here. You will get the same results. Okay. So this was a good question, and this type of the question have been asked in GATE, but in a very short term. And I have given a long question on this one. Now I am going to give you some long questions in which so many fundamentals have been included, so that your all the fundamentals related to the first law of thermodynamics will be clear. So come to the next problem. This is again a very good problem. A stone of 20 kg mass and a tank containing 200 kg of water comprises a system. Okay. The stone is 15 meter above the water level initially. The stone and water are at the same temperature initially. If the stone falls into the water, then determine delta U, delta K, delta P, Q and W when the stone is about to enter the water. The stone has to come to rest in the tank. I am just going to explain, because I am not doing the calculative part, so I am just going to explain how to solve this one. You just do the calculation part of this problem. Question number 14. Here, this is our tank in which water is there, and there is a stone which is at a height of 15 meter and 20 kg mass of the stone and 200 kg of water. This height is 15 meter, this is 20 kg mass, and this is 200 kg of water. Okay. So when a stone dropped and reaches to the level of water, then what will happen? No heat transfer, so Q is equal to 0. No work done is there, so work done is 0. And this entire thing is basically our system. And heat, what is change in internal energy? This change in internal energy is nothing but it is 0. So delta E of system will be 0, means delta Ke plus delta change in kinetic and change in potential energy, it is must be equal to 0, because delta E is 0. So, and once it drops a 15 meter of height, so there is a change in potential energy. So what is change in potential? Potential energy is decreasing, it means internal energy will increase. So change in kinetic energy is nothing but it is equal to minus delta PE. And what is the change in potential energy? That is mg into H2 minus H1. Okay. So this position is your H2 and here H1. If I am considering this is as an H1 and this position as an H2, so this is basically H2 minus H1. So potential energy is basically it will decrease because we are moving downward. So potential energy will decrease because stone moves downward. And thus simultaneously kinetic energy increases. Okay, so kinetic energy will increase and potential energy will decrease. What is asking, the stone is about to enter the water, then so change in potential energy we can easily find out mgh. M is 20 kg, g is 9.8. so what is delta p? Change in potential energy, that is m is 20 kg, g I am taking it as a 10 into change in height, that is 15, this much of joule with a minus sign because it is negative change in potential energy. So that is equal to 200 into 15 joule. So this comes to be minus 3 kilojoule. So this much amount of potential energy will be decreased. So what is change in kinetic energy? So change in kinetic energy will be 3 kilojoule. So this much amount of the kinetic energy will increase when it just reaches to the surface of water liquid. Okay, so when the stone is about to enter the water, then kinetic energy is 3 kilojoule, potential energy is minus 3 kilojoule, Q and W will be 0. When the stone has to come to rest in the tank, now again stone moves inside water and comes to rest, means its kinetic energy decreases, thus its potential energy will increase. So change in kinetic energy is given by delta Ke is equal to 0 minus 3, that is minus 3 kilojoule. So delta P, this becomes 3 kilojoule because again change in internal energy is equal to 0. So delta E system will always be equal to 0. So keep it is equal to 0. Now the stone has come to the rest. The heat transferred to the surrounding in such an amount that the stone and water come to their initial temperature. Now the stone has come to its initial temperature. Now stone has come to its initial temperature. So since the stone has come to its initial, Okay, now stay for process 2 to 3. For process 2 to 3. So before this, just draw the PV diagram. So what is the PV diagram of this figure? This is P, this is B. If we draw the PV diagram, so initially it has been compressed from state 1 to state 2, then at a constant pressure it has been cooled down, and then isothermally this is at a constant pressure, this is at a constant temperature, and this is PV raised to the power n is equal to constant. So this is our process from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and 3 to 1. So from 2 to 3 and process 3 to 1. So 2 to 3 process, which is constant pressure process, and process 3 to 1 is temperature constant pressure. So since temperature is constant from 3 to 1, so obviously the temperature at point 3 is equal to temperature at point 1. So temperature at 1 is equal to temperature at point 3, and this comes to be, what is the temperature at point 1? It is 360 Kelvin. So temperature at point 1 is 360 Kelvin. So this is the temperature at point 1, and this is same the temperature at point 3 also. So work done for process 2 to 3, that is isobaric process. So how much is the work done for 2 to 3? This is nothing but it is P delta V. So this is equal to P of delta V is nothing but it is V3 minus V2. So we can write it as PV3 minus PV2, or this is MR T3 minus T2. Mass I have taken as 1. Initially I am calculating it for 1 kg of mass, and finally we will put the value of mass. So R is 1287. What is T3? T3 is 360 minus what is T2? So T2 we have calculated 470.8. So this is 470.8. So once we calculate this value, this comes to be minus 31.8, this much of kilojoule per kilogram. So this is the work done for process 2 to 3. Okay. Now heat transfer for process 2 to 3. So heat transfer from 2 to 3, it is at a constant pressure quality. So this heat transfer is nothing but it is mCv gamma minus n upon 1 minus n into T3 minus, I'm sorry, 3 to 1 is your at a constant pressure process, so it is simply mCp delta T. I'm sorry, I just got confused with polytropic process. So this is Q2 to 3 is nothing but it is mCp T3 minus T2. So what is the value of Cp? 1.005. T3, what was T3? T3 is 360 minus 470.8. 360 minus 470.8. So Q from 2 to 3, this comes to be minus 111.35 kilojoule per kilogram. So this is the heat transfer for process 2 to 3. Now for 3 to 1. So 3 to 1 is an isothermal process. It is an isothermal process. So work done from 3 to 1 is nothing but it is P3V3 ln V1 upon V3, or we can say this is nothing but it is MRT3 ln P3 upon P1. So what is the value of P3 and what is P1? So P3 is nothing but it is 7.5, which is equal to P2. This is also equal to P3. This is also equal to P3, 7.5 bar, and P1 is 1.5 bar. So P3 is, so R is 0.287, T3, the value of T3 is 360 ln 7.5 upon 1.5. Once you calculate the value, so we will get the work done from 3 to 1, and this work done is nothing but it comes to be 166.3 kilojoule per kilogram. So this much amount of the work has been done in process 3 to 1, and since it is an isothermal process, so for an isothermal process, delta U is equal to 0. So Q from 3 to 1 is nothing but it is equal to work from 3 to 1, and this comes to be 166.3 kilojoule, 166.3 kilojoule per kilogram. So net work transfer is nothing but it is W from 1 to 2 plus W from 2 to 3 plus W from 3 to 1. Once we calculate these values, this comes to be minus 24.5 kilojoule per kilogram, and when M is equal to 0.3 kilogram, then this net work done comes out to be minus 7.35 kilojoule. This negative sign basically shows that this much of amount of the work is being done on the system, and for this, and if we see the figure, so the figure is also anti-clockwise figure. So since it is an anti-clockwise figure, so the work has been consumed. This much amount of the work has been done onto the system, and according to the Joule's law, as per Joule's law, summation W for any cyclic process is equal to summation Q. इसलिए net heat transfer is equal to minus 7.35 kilojoule. This negative sign shows that this much amount of the heat has been absorbed. So this is heat absorbed, and this much amount of the work done on the system. So this was the question. This is a very good question. Obviously it is a big question. This was asked in engineering services examination in 1992. So this question was big, but every concept has been cleared, how it has been compressed and all that. The diameter and the stroke of a gas engine cylinder are 18 cm and 30 cm respectively. Okay. Question number 16. That is, the diameter is 18 centimeter and the stroke is 30 centimeter. So what is the initial volume? So initial volume V1 is equal to pi d square upon 4 into L, that is pi by 4. D is 18 centimeter square and the length is 30 centimeter. This much of centimeter cube. So once we calculate, the value becomes 7.634 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 meter cube. This is the initial volume and it has been compressed from 1 to 2. This is our pressure, this is volume. And expansion ratio has been given, that is V1 upon V2 is equal to 6. This is given. At initial condition, pressure is given as, what is the value of pressure? 1.05 kilogram force per centimeter square. So pressure is 1.04 kilogram force per centimeter square, or it is 1.04 into 10 raised to the power 4 Newton per meter square. What is the temperature? The initial temperature is 100 degrees centigrade. That is 100 plus 273. That is 373 Kelvin. This is the initial pressure and temperature is given. Now final stage, at state 2. The pressure is given as, the value of pressure is given as 7 kilogram force. If the pressure at the end of the compression is 7 kilogram force per centimeter square. So pressure is given at 7 kilogram force per centimeter square. So this comes to be 7 into 10 raised to the power 4 Newton per meter square. This is the pressure at the end of the compression. Volume is known, obviously. What is the V2? V2 is nothing but it is V1 upon 6. V2 will be V1 upon 6. Now for process 1 to 2. For process 1 to 2. So P1 V1 की power n is equal to V2 raised to the power n, where n is the polytropic index which we have to find out. So P1 upon P2 is equal to V2 upon V1 raised to the power n. What is the value of P1? 1.04. What is P2 is 7 is equal to V2 upon V1 is 1 upon 6 raised to the power n. Taking log of both sides, we get n is equal to 1.18. So the first part, what is the compression index? The compression index is nothing but this is 1.18. Also calculate the work done and heat transferred during the process, indicating the direction of flow. Assuming R is 29.3 and specific heat is equal to 1.4. So this much amount of is the compression index. So work done from process 1 to 2. What is the value of work done? So the work done is nothing but it is P1 V1 minus P2 V2 divided by n minus 1. Once we put all the values as, we will get the value of work done is minus 53.7 this much of joule per cycle. So this is the work done per cycle, this much of joule. Also for finding the temperature at the end of compression, so let temperature at the end of compression is T2, that can be given as T2 upon T1 is equal to P2 upon P1 की power n minus 1 upon n. So by this we can find out T2 by putting all the value. T1 is 373, P2 is 7 upon 1.04 into 1.18 minus 1 upon 1.18. Once you put all the values, so T2 comes to be 499 Kelvin approximately. This is the value of temperature at the end of the compression. Once we know the temperature at the end of the compression, so heat transferred during the polytropic compression equals to Q is equal to mc v gamma minus n upon 1 minus n T2 minus T1. Now put all the values where gamma is equal to 1.4. By putting all the values we get minus 20 minus 11.27 kilojoule per kilojoule. So this much amount of the heat has been transferred. So as per the question, what is the heat transfer during the process, indicating the direction of flow. So minus 11.27 kilojoule of per kg of the heat has been transferred. So this negative sign shows that heat is absorbed by the system. Okay. Now the next problem is an insulated rigid pressure vessel is divided into two portions by a movable partition. One part of the vessel is occupied by the gas initially at a pressure of P1, V1 and T1, while the other part is occupied by the same gas at P2, V2 and T2. The portion is removed and the two portions are mixed adiabatically. Find the final pressure and final temperature of the gas. Okay, now today we will solve some more problems related to the first law of thermodynamics, and they are very good questions. Now see the first problem. An insulated rigid pressure vessel is divided into two portions by a movable piston. One part of the vessel is occupied by gas initially at pressure P1, V1 and T1, while the other part is occupied by the same gas. Now the gas in both the parts are same. and its pressure, volume and temperature is given as P2, V2 and T2. Now the portion is removed and the two portions are mixed adiabatically. Okay, to find the final pressure and final temperature of the gas. Okay, so now see how to solve this question. What he says, there are, this is a chamber which has been divided into two parts by a movable partition. This partition can be removed. Initially, the pressure of this portion is P1, volume is V1 and temperature is T1, while the pressure of this portion is P2, volume is V2 and temperature is T2. Both have the same gas. So gas is same. So now let us assume I am giving it as a first chamber and this is as second. Okay. So what is the mass of the gas in first part? So mass of gas in first part M1. So this will be nothing but it is P1 V1 upon RT1 by using the gas constant. Similarly, mass of gas in second part, what is it? This is M2 and this comes to be P2 V2 divided by RT2. Now what he says that this partition has been removed. Now the partition has been removed and the gas are mixed adiabatically. Gas mixed adiabatically. So when the gases are mixed adiabatically, now let us assume that the final pressure is P and final temperature of the system will be T. Obviously, when they are mixed, so what is the final volume? The final volume V is nothing but it is V1 plus V2, and since there is no change in mass, so what is the mass? Mass will be equal to M1 plus M2, final mass. So here we are using two equations. First is mass balance equation. Mass balance equation. What is the mass balance equation? That is M in minus M out is equal to delta M system. This is the mass balance equation. So is there any masses coming inside the system? No. So value of this will be equal to 0. Is there any mass going outside the system? No. So it is going to 0. So delta M of system means change in mass of the system. This remains 0, means mass initial is equal to mass final. Initial and final is that this condition is our initial condition. This is initial condition and this condition is our final condition. Okay. So initially what is the total mass? That is M1 plus M2. This is the total mass. And what is the final mass? After mixing these two, let the final mass be M. So M will be equal to M1 plus M2. So this is the final mass of the system. So what would be the final mass? So M comes to be M1. What is M1? That is P1 V1 upon RT1 plus M2, that is P2 V2 divided by RT2. This is the final mass of the system. Let it be our first equation. Now the second we will do energy balance equation. Energy balance equation. What is energy balance equation? Is according to first law, that is E in minus E out is equal to delta E system. But is there any energy coming inside the system? No. Is there energy going outside the system? No. It means delta E of the system means change in energy of the system itself is equal to 0. So E initial would be equal to E final. Now our assumption is that neglecting the kinetic and potential energy changes. So once we neglect it, so U, that is internal energy initial, would be equal to U final. So what is the initial internal energy? M1 CV T1, since the first chamber has at a temperature of T1 and its mass is M1, plus second chamber M2 CV T2. We are taking CV same because the gas is same. When they are mixed, so final mass is nothing but it is M1 plus M2 CV, and we have assumed that final temperature is T. So what is the value of T? T is nothing but it is M1 T1 plus M2 T2 divided by M1 plus M2. Now by putting the value of M1 and M2, so we will get T is equal to, that is the final temperature, that is M1, M1 is P1 V1 upon RT1, M1 T1 plus M2, M2 is P2 V2 upon RT2 into T2 divided by M1 plus M2, that is P1 V1 by RT1 plus P2 V2 by RT2. Is that okay? So final temperature will be given by this T1 T1 cancel, this T2 T2 will be cancelled. So it is P1 V1 plus P2 V2 divided by R. So R can be cancelled out. So we can write it as P1 V1 plus P2 V2 divided by P1 V1 upon T1 plus P2 V2 by T2. So this is the final temperature of the system after adiabatically mixing. Okay, so when adiabatically mixed, the final temperature will be this one. So this is our answer. Now the next part he is asking, what is the final pressure? The final pressure, so using gas equation, final pressure into PV is equal to mRT. So P, what is the final volume? This is V1 plus V2 is equal to M. M is nothing but M1 plus M2, that is P1 V1 upon RT1 plus P2 V2 upon RT2 into R, and the value of T. What is T? That is P1 V1 plus P2 V2 divided by P1 V1 upon T1 plus P2 V2 upon T2. So once you put, so P times of V1 plus V2, this will be given as, now this R will be cancelled out to this one, then P1 V1 upon T1 plus P2 V2 upon T2, this will be cancelled out by this one. So this is nothing but it is P1 V1 plus P2 V2. So what should be the final pressure? Final pressure is P1 V1 plus P2 V2 divided by V1 plus V2. So this is the final pressure of the system when the two gases are mixed adiabatically. So this was a very good question in which basically we have used two equations. One is the energy balance equation and the other one is your mass balance equation, and they are very important. While using any of the energy equation, then we have to use these two equations, that is the mass balance and energy balance. So it was really a very good question. This is really very good and very important question. So please go through this and see how to solve this type of the questions. Okay, now we'll go for the next problem. Now this question was asked in engineering services examination. The question is that when a system is taken from state X to state Y, 30 kilojoule of heat flows into the system. Okay, and the system does 10 kilojoule of work. 30 kilojoule of heat is flowing into the system and system does the work of 10 kilojoule. Now the question number 18. System moves from any point X to any point Y. What he says, system moves from state X to state Y, 30 kilojoule of heat flows into the system and system does 10 kilojoule of work. It is something like this, from state X to state Y. So 30 kilojoule of heat is flowing into the system and 10 kilojoule of work system does. So this is 10 kilojoule. So what is E in minus E out is equal to delta E system according to the first law of thermodynamics. How much energy is inside the system? That is 30. What is coming out is 10. So delta U, I am neglecting the kinetic and potential energy. Means this much of the work has been done on the system. What we have to calculate, what is the amount of heat liberated or absorbed. So E in minus E out is equal to again delta E, delta U. What is the input? Now 8 kilojoule of work which is being done, so it is input, so 8 kilojoule minus, let the heat which is coming out is Q, is equal to, this is nothing but it is Ux final minus initial, and this value is nothing but minus 20 kilojoule. Okay, so what is the value of Q? So value of Q is equal to 28 kilojoule. Okay, and this Q is positive and we are taking this Q is then outside, means this much amount of the heat is liberated. So what is, how much? The 28 kilojoule of heat is liberated. Okay, so 28 kilojoule of heat is being liberated. So this question was asked in engineering services examination. So you just only remember which energy is in coming inside the system and what is coming outside the system. Here I have assumed that Q amount of heat has been liberated, which is coming out. If it comes to be negative, then it means this energy is absorbed. Okay,